So the today's topic, friends, is about carbicin. Carbicin is the most efficient uterotonic drug for which we have been waiting till so long, and actually it is a step forward in our aim to zero down the maternal deaths. Postpartum hemorrhage in India is the leading cause of maternal deaths. Its prevalence in India is 38%. PPH accounts for up to 56% of the maternal deaths in India. Postpartum hemorrhage is defined as a cumulative blood loss more than 500 ml following vaginal delivery or equal to 1 liter or more than 1 liter following a cesarean delivery, or any amount of blood loss within 24 hours after childbirth evident by a rise in pulse rate and falling blood pressure. Primary PPH is in the first 24 hours of delivery. Secondary PPH is within 24 hours to 12 weeks after delivery. As we all know, causes of PPH are the 4 T's: tone, trauma, tissue, and thrombin. Atonic uterus actually accounts for 70% of the total PPH cases, and this results from poor contraction of the uterus after childbirth. Risk factors for PPH are prolonged labor, grand multipara, augmented and precipitated labor, history of PPH, over-distended uterus because of macrosomia, twin pregnancy, polyhydramnios, operated delivery, and chorioamnionitis. WHO recommends the active management of third stage of labor for prevention of postpartum hemorrhage. Active management of third stage of labor includes bimanual uterine massage, simultaneous uterotonic agent administration. Prophylactic administration of uterotonic agents is identified as the most important component of active management of the third stage of labor. Reduces the incidence of postpartum hemorrhage nearly by 50%. Caesarean deliveries, they have become an epidemic in India. Records up to 300% jump in the last decade. The incidence of PPH are high in caesarean deliveries than in vaginal deliveries. Approximately 36% of the caesarean deliveries are complicated by PPH. And therefore, it is common practice to give a uterotonic drug following the delivery of the neonate during caesarean section. Uterotonic agents like oxytocin and carbetocin are recommended for routine administration immediately after delivery of the fetus during cesarean section to prevent postpartum hemorrhage. This is the international consensus statement. Administration of uterotonic drugs are very essential during cesarean section and in the third stage of labor following vaginal delivery to diminish the risk of PPH and improve the maternal safety. Uterotonic drugs can be widely divided into 3 categories: the posterior pituitary hormones and analogs, and the ergot-alkaloids and prostaglandins. Oxytocin and carbetocin are the first-line agents for this. Methylergometrin, misoprostol, and carboprost are the second-line agents. So oxytocin is considered as a gold standard treatment for the prevention of PPH, but it has some shortcomings. Oxytocin is short acting. It has the half-life of 4 to 10 minutes. Duration of action is only for 15 to 20 minutes. It must be administered as a continuous intravenous infusion to attain sustained uterotonic activity throughout the surgical procedure and immediate postpartum period. Oxytocin is used for inducing or augmentation of labor, and because of this, there is desensitization of the oxytocin receptors, thereby impairing oxytocin post-delivery effect on uterine contractibility. Variation in doses is too much with oxytocin because various international bodies and trials have recommended different doses of oxytocin, and thus there is no consistency in dosage regime, which actually results into errors in its administration. Oxytocin is a high alert medication. The Institute for Safe Medication Practices added IV oxytocin to their list of high alert medication, meaning minor errors can cause significant harms to the patient. So the need of the hour is to have an oxytocin which is longer acting. There is single dose of administration, no variation in dosage regimes, devoid of repeated administration, ease of one-time administration, superior efficacy or similar efficacy as that of oxytocin. It is devoid of receptor desensitization and superior side effect profile over oxytocin. So here we have carbetocin. Carbetocin is a synthetic analog of human oxytocin with some structural modification. And because of this structural modification, it increases the half-life of carbetocin, thereby prolonging its pharmacological effects. Carbetocin has been added to the WHO Essential Medicine list of uterotonics for the prevention of excessive bleeding after childbirth. WHO recommendations also includes uterotonics for the prevention of postpartum hemorrhage. In this also, it has included the carbetocin. But carboprost is actually not recommended by WHO. Very few people knows this. So how carbetocin works? Carbetocin works by acting through oxytocin receptors, which causes the uterus to contract. It is oxytocic, it is uterotonic, and it is anti-hemorrhagic. It causes slight thickening of the blood. So now I'll be comparing carbetocin and oxytocin. The half-life of carbetocin is 40 minutes, that is, it is 10 folds higher than oxytocin. Duration of action of carbetocin is longer than IV or IM oxytocin. It was found that a single intravenous bolus injection of carbetocin was at least as effective as 16 hours of continuous oxytocin infusion. Carbetocin needs no repeated administration. There is no dose variation. Single dose of carbetocin is found to be effective in controlling PPH, unlike oxytocin. Carbetocin is superior to oxytocin with respect to its pharmacokinetic parameters and single dose administration. Carbetocin is a long-acting synthetic analog of human oxytocin. When injected into women, it induces uterine contractions. This medicine is stable at 30 degrees for 3 years, 40 degrees for 6 months, at 50 degrees for 3, and at 60 degrees for 1 month. The bioavailable dose is very high, it is 80%. No drug profile is complete without contraindications. We have to understand the contraindications. Carbetocin should not be given during pregnancy and labor before delivery of the baby. It may cause respiratory or cardiac distress in mother or baby. It cannot be used for induction of labor. It cannot be used in patients who are hypersensitive to oxytocin, carbetocin, or any of the excipients of the formulation. It is contraindicated in epilepsy, eclampsia, hepatic, renal, or cardiovascular disorders. It is to be used with caution in hypertension and asthma patients. Carbetocin has been studied throughout the world because we cannot believe on any drug without trials. So this is the first clinical study of carbetocin versus oxytocin. This was a triple-blind randomized controlled trial for the management of third stage of labor during vaginal deliveries. And in this, intravenous carbetocin was studied versus oxytocin for prevention of atonic PPH after normal delivery in high-risk singleton pregnancies. The study included 174 women with high-risk singleton pregnancy One group was given carbetocin, that is 1 ampule intravenous over a period of 1 minute, and the other group was given 5 units slow IV over a period of 1 minute. The outcome measures were the incidence of atonic PPH, postpartum blood loss, additional uterotonic drugs, incidence of postpartum anemia, and adverse effects. These were the results. The incidence of atonic PPH was 0% in carbetocin, and with oxytocin, it was 6.3%. Postpartum blood loss with carbetocin was much less as compared to the oxytocin group. Need for additional uterotonic drugs was much less with carbetocin as compared to oxytocin. Postpartum anemia was also much less in the group who was given carbetocin as compared to that of oxytocin. The conclusion of this study is that intravenous carbetocin is more effective than intravenous oxytocin for the prevention of atonic PPH among singleton pregnancy with at least one risk factor for PPH. This is the other study in which carbetocin was studied versus oxytocin in the active management of third stage of labor following vaginal delivery. This was an open label randomized controlled trial. 110 women with single pregnancy participated in the study. One group was given 1 ampule of carbetocin and the other group was given 10 international units of oxytocin by intramuscular route. The outcome measures studied were the amount of blood loss in 24 hours, massive blood loss, need for additional uterotonic therapy, blood transfusion, and adverse effects. These were the results, and as we can clearly see, there was no significant difference regarding side effects between the groups, but there was average amount of blood loss was less. Need for additional uterotonics was none in the carbetocin group. Immediate blood transfusion none. Massive blood loss none, and no PPH as compared to the oxytocin group. The conclusion of the study is that carbetocin appears to be an effective new drug in the active management of third stage of labor in vaginal deliveries. Carbetocin can be considered as a good alternative to oxytocin in the active management of the third stage of labor in vaginal delivery. Study was also done on carbetocin for prevention of PPH following cesarean delivery. This was the study in which carbetocin versus oxytocin versus misoprostol was done. This was a randomized controlled trial comparing the 3 drugs for the prevention of postpartum hemorrhage following an elective cesarean section delivery. 263 patients with a singleton pregnancy were scheduled for elective cesarean section delivery. The first group was given only carbetocin, single ampule. Second group was given 10 units of oxytocin following neonatal delivery, 20 international unit in half liter of saline over a period of 4 hours. And the third group was given 400 mcg misoprostol sublingually. Primary outcome studied were the occurrence of uterine atony and the necessitation of additional uterotonics. This was the result. So no significant difference regarding side effects between oxytocin and carbetocin was observed. Side effects were reported highest in the misoprostol group. The conclusion of the study is that additional uterotonics were needed less frequently by patients treated with carbetocin. Carbetocin appears to be an attractive alternative as compared to oxytocin and misoprostol for the prevention of atonic PPH following cesarean deliveries. This was another study of carbetocin versus oxytocin done on twin pregnancy cesarean patients. In this, 60 patients were selected, and the first group was given 1 ampule of carbetocin in 10 ml of normal saline, and the other group was given 20 international unit of oxytocin in 10 ml saline. The outcome measures studied were the need for additional uterotonics, blood loss, and requirement of blood transfusion. The results were like this. The need of additional uterotonic was much less in the carbetocin group as compared to oxytocin. Postpartum blood loss was less in carbetocin group as compared to oxytocin. Patient requiring blood transfusion was much less in carbetocin group as compared to the oxytocin group. The conclusion of the study is that a single dose of carbetocin appears to be more effective than oxytocin for several hours on uterine contraction and for preventing postpartum hemorrhage in multiple pregnancy patients undergoing elective cesarean sections. This study was done on carbetocin versus oxytocin plus misoprostol. This was a randomized open trial study. This was done on 380 patients with risk factors during cesarean section, and they were divided into two groups. The first group was given only carbetocin. The other group was given 400 mcg of misoprostol before surgery and 10 international unit of oxytocin IV after surgery. The outcome measures studied were need for additional uterotonics, decrease in hemoglobin, estimated blood loss, incidence of blood transfusion, and adverse side effects. The outcomes were, as mentioned, shivering and fever was significantly high with misoprostol plus oxytocin. No significant difference regarding other side effects between the group was observed. The conclusion was that carbetocin is superior over combination of oxytocin plus misoprostol with respect to all efficacy parameters with similar adverse effect profile. This was another study of carbetocin versus oxytocin and ergometrin. In this, 200 women were selected and they were scheduled for an elective cesarean delivery. First group was given one single ampule of carbetocin. The other group was given 5 international unit of oxytocin and one ampule of ergometrin. This is normally the schedule which all of us follow in our OTs. And the outcome measures studied were uterine tone, need of additional oxytocin, and blood loss. The results were as mentioned. The need for additional uterotonic drug was very less with carbetocin as compared to the other group. Carbetocin group had less atonic PPH as compared to the other group. The conclusion of this study was that carbetocin is more potent long-acting oxytocin with less need for other additional uterotonic drugs and less occurrence of uterine atony. This was another study in which carbetocin was studied against methyl ergometrin. 64 women with singleton pregnancy were included in the study. One group was given a single injection of carbetocin. The other group was given one ampule of methyl ergometrin. Outcome measures studied were postpartum blood loss, duration of third stage of labor, and side effects. This was the result. Postpartum blood loss was much less in the carbetocin group as compared to the methyl ergometrin group. And the conclusion is that carbetocin is preferable drug in the reduction of postpartum blood loss and more safe in side effects of drugs than methyl ergometrin. So the Cochrane review is that for women who undergo cesarean section, carbetocin resulted in a statistically significant reduction in the need for therapeutic uterotonics compared to oxytocin. Carbetocin is associated with less blood loss in prevention of PPH for women who have vaginal deliveries and is associated with significant fewer side effects. Carbetocin was also studied for pain perception in women with high risk of postpartum hemorrhage because it was observed that it has some effect on the pain perception also. In this study, 110 women with elective cesarean section were studied. They were divided into two groups. One group was given carbetocin and the other group was given oxytocin, 10 international units IV. followed by 20 international unit IV infusion in 24 hours. Post-operative pain on the day of surgery in the carbetocin group was significantly lower than in the oxytocin group and remained significant till the third day after the cesarean section. On the day of surgery and the first day after surgery, women of carbetocin group needed less analgesic drugs, were significantly lower than women of the oxytocin group. So the conclusion was that a singleton carbetocin injection is efficacious and safe on the maintenance of uterine tone and on the limitation of blood loss in peri and intraoperative period. In addition, carbetocin was able to reduce pain perception during postoperative days, improving the quality of life of the women. This was again a trial done in Europe on 104 patients with at least one risk factor for PPH undergoing cesarean section. One group was given carbetocin and another group was given IV infusion of oxytocin, and the results were compared. The conclusion was that carbetocin is superior alternative to oxytocin thanks to its long half-life on a unique injection, whereas oxytocin requires repeated injections or a perfusion for several hours with a variability of administered doses. Carbetocin versus oxytocin was also studied for prevention of postpartum hemorrhage in patients with severe preeclampsia. This was a double-blind randomized controlled trial in which 60 women participated. Carbetocin was given to first group when it was diluted in a single lactate solution of 10 ml in this group, and it was injected directly into the vein over 2 minutes. The other group was given oxytocin 20 international unit in 1 liter of ringer lactate solution, and it was administered intravenously at a rate of 125 ml per hour. The outcome measures studied were the requirement of additional uterotonics, the difference is hemoglobin level in the two groups, the development of oliguria, and hemodynamic status, that is mean arterial pressure and heart rate after administration of the drug. This was the conclusion. Carbetocin is an appropriate alternative to oxytocin for the prevention of postpartum hemorrhage in women with severe preeclampsia, considering that it appears not to have a major hemodynamic effect in women with severe preeclampsia and that it uses a lower volume per dose than oxytocin. It should be considered a valid option for the management of third stage of labor in women with hypertensive disorders of pregnancy. Few more recent studies on carbetocin. Study was done in cesarean section for twin pregnancies. Patients were divided in two groups. Group one was given 10 units of oxytocin that was injected directly into the uterus. An IV infusion of 10 units of oxytocin was given in 500 ml of ringer lactate, and a direct intrauterine injection of 0.2 milligram was given of methyl ergometrin. The other group was given 10 international units of oxytocin, IV oxytocin, and direct uterine injection of 1 ampule of methyl ergometrin and an additional IV bolus of carbetocin over a period of 3 minutes was given. The primary endpoint was change in hemoglobin and the secondary endpoint was risk of PPH and undiagnosed PPH, that is hemoglobin dropped more than 2 gram per deciliter, blood loss and need for additional uterotonic drugs and blood transfusion. The result was that hemoglobin change was comparable in both the groups, but the hemoglobin fall was more than 2 gram, that is undiagnosed PPH was reported more in group with oxytocin and methyl ergometrin as compared to carbetocin addition group. Total blood loss, intraoperative and postoperative blood loss were less in carbetocin added group. The conclusion is that in twin pregnancies that underwent cesarean section, adding 1 ampule of carbetocin to regular uterotonics decrease total blood loss and the risk of undiagnosed PPH. It has also reduced the need for bottle compression and IV fluid supplements. Studies were also done for comparing carbetocin and oxytocin for prevention of postpartum hemorrhage in cesarean deliveries for placenta accreta and previa. 240 women were studied in the group, and this was the outcome. And the conclusion was that compared to oxytocin infusion, oxytocin has reduced the requirement of additional uterotonic or procedure in cesarean deliveries for placenta previa major. These are few more studies. I'll be mentioning comparison of carbetocin versus carboprost also. Carboprost is second-line agent in PPH. It is not recommended by WHO in management of PPH. It is associated with severe vomiting and diarrhea incidences, and it is contraindicated in asthma. As compared to this, carbetocin is the first-line agent in PPH. It is recommended by WHO in management of PPH. No such severe side effects are observed. Should be used with caution in asthma. So carbetocin has proved to be superior over oxytocin and other uterotonics with respect to prevention of PPH, estimated blood loss after delivery, need of additional uterotonic agents, decrease in hemoglobin level, need of blood transfusion, perception of pain, and the side effect profile. Now something about the Indian scenario of carbetocin. WHO carried a trial across 23 countries, 23 centers in 10 countries, and India was one of them. And the result was that carbetocin proved to be non-inferior to oxytocin with ease of a single dose administration. Superiority of carbetocin over oxytocin was also discussed in AICOG 2019, and Dr. Uma Pandey presented. Now something about the product profile. This product is available in the form of solution for induction. It contains 100 mcg per ml and the packing is of 1 ml. Means one injection, 1 ml and a single dose. The therapeutic indications are that it is indicated for the prevention of uterine atony, excessive bleeding after delivery of infant by cesarean section or vaginal delivery. It must be administered after delivery of the infant. Dose and administration is in cesarean section, a single dose of 1 ml should be administered intravenously as a bolus injection slowly over 1 minute after delivery of the infant. For vaginal delivery, a single dose of 1 ml, that is 100 mcg, should be administered after delivery of the infant for the active management of the third stage of labor intravenously as a bolus injection slowly over 1 minute. No study is complete without knowing about the adverse effect. Carbetocin is frequently associated with nausea, abdominal pain, pruritus, flushing, vomiting, feeling of warmth, hypotension, headache, and tremors. But as most of these reactions also occurred in patients treated with placebo, many of these symptoms were likely to be associated with procedure and the drugs associated with the procedure like the operative deliveries and the epidural anesthesias. So to summarize, carbetocin is superior over oxytocin with respect to prevention of PPH, blood loss after delivery, need of additional uterotonic agents, deviation in hemoglobin levels, need of blood transfusion, perception of pain, side effect profile. Carbetocin is superior over ergot alkaloids with respect to prevention of PPH, blood loss after delivery, need of additional uterotonic agents, need of blood transfusion, better side effect profile. Carbetocin is superior over prostaglandin analogs, that is misoprostol, carboprost, with respect to prevention of PPH, blood loss after delivery, need of additional uterotonic agents. Drawbacks of prostaglandin analogs is that they are second line agents. They need multiple dosing. It is not recommended by WHO and associated with significant increase in vomiting and diarrhea. So carbetocin is the most efficient uterotonic and was most awaited uterotonic. And it has arrived in India now. It is introduced by Bleason, the company which has actually given a very important uterotonic to us and made our life very comfortable. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Ma'am, there are a few questions regarding this topic.
Sure.
Uh, can you please tell us about the comparison of cost between carbetocin and oxytocin in context of low resource setting like India?
Excuse me, can we repeat the question?
About the comparison of cost between carbetocin and oxytocin in context of low resource setting like India. As
See,
carbetocin, ma'am, was
carbetocin is
uh,
actually costing, can you hear me? Carbetocin is costing 350 rupees per ampule and it can be given in single dose. And I think oxytocin ampule, we might need up to 20 ampules.
hardly 100 rupees, madam.
That is there. It is there. But you know, there is actually nothing, we cannot compare the, you know, actually the PPH, which causes damage to the lady. It cannot be compared with anything. It can even take the life of the women. So it is better to spend a little more rather than giving a lot of blood transfusions, giving so many additional uterotonics and adding suffering to the lady. And ultimately she will get anemic and weak and weak. Because this we every day we see. Every day we see this. PPH is actually a nightmare for a gynecologist.
Yeah. So another question is, madam, as in your talk, you told us that carbetocin can cause cardiac and respiratory distress to mother and baby when given during pregnancy and labor.
It should never be given. It is a contraindication. This is a drug to be used after delivery always. It is never to
The
be given
question
during
is,
pregnancy. It is never to be given during pregnancy and it is never to be given for induction of labor. It is a drug to be given only after delivery of the infant to the mother for control of PPH.
ma'am, but the question is, will be risk to the mother when given after delivery of the child, because if it can cause cardiac and respiratory distress in mother, so post delivery wouldn't it be causing the both to the
No. We have to give this medicine with caution in patients with hypertension and high risk factors. Because once I presented one clinical study in which the severe preeclampsia patients were given this in the diluted form. They had diluted this in 3 ml of ringer lactate, and this can be diluted up to 10 ml for being very safe, but it is to be injected in 1 minute on time only. And if you'll give it before the delivery of the baby, the question is that it should not be given before the delivery of the patient. I told that because it is contraindicated before the delivery, it can be given after the delivery because the baby will be out after the delivery. And in the mother, you have to see for the high risk factors, and you don't have to give when it is contraindicated in patients with heart disease, in patients with liver disease, renal disease, and every drug has to be used with caution. We just cannot think no drug is not having, this drug is very safe and we can give it left and right to everybody. No, it is not so. All drugs are to be studied. They are to be given with caution. And I personally, I have used about, last 3 weeks, I have used about 50 to 60 ampules of carbetocin, and I used all these injections in my OT only because it was new to me. I had never used this before. And I used this drug in the presence of my anesthetist. And my anesthetist gave me few feedbacks. He told me that there was no rise of pulse after this injection was given. And there was no rise of blood pressure also after this injection was given. So we are now sure that, okay, this is a safe molecule and we have now started giving it to more and more patients, and the time of blood loss actually has reduced. Because in cesarean, we can witness this very well. We can see the uterus is in front of us, and the time of separation of the placenta has reduced. And once the placenta has reduced, the whole field actually appears to be very dry. It is very surprising. आप use करके देखो इसको. The uterus appears so clean, and the bleeding period has also reduced a lot. The total blood loss when we perform cesarean, normally we see that the uterus keep on oozing, and there is blood collection every time we keep on doing suction. We keep on cleaning the uterus, and lot of sponges are soaked. But with carbetocin, we observe that our sponge soaking has reduced, our suction has reduced, and also our time for closure of the uterus has also reduced, because the blood loss has reduced actually.
Ma'am, can we use carbetocin and oxytocin together?
Yes, why not? Yes, it can be used. It can be used.
Okay. Thank you very much, ma'am. Questions are over in the chat box now.
Okay.
I'm really very thankful to you for introducing new drug to us, and now it is available in India by Blisson. Thank you, Blisson people, for organizing this webinar.
Yeah, Mudita ma'am, I will also take this opportunity to extend the vote of thanks to all the Bhopal Ops and Gynec Society. And firstly, ma'am, we are very highly beholden to Vijay Lakshmi ma'am for taking out her valuable time and sharing the experiences of using carbazine, ma'am. And thank you so much, because science is not about theory, it's all about application. And what you shared is the application. You have applied and you are happy. And I think more doctors will be more confident about it. So once again, ma'am, thank you so much. And thank you for all the doctors of Bhopal Ops and Gynec Society who has attended this. And I really look forward to everyone. Please use at least once, then you will know what is the beauty of this drug. So that's all from my side. And Shipad sir, our vice president, Gaurav sir, our zonal head, myself, and like all the company people, we will be really beholden for this, giving us this opportunity for holding this webinar. And we look forward everyone to share their experience to go ahead with this beautiful molecule, man, which we have launched. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.